our giver of all things that can lead to prosperity and happiness. That was a pretty heavy title, wasn't it? We are joined by Reverend Greg Dorst from the Claremont Center for Spiritual Living. And Reverend Greg, a lot of times people ask me, what religion I am. And my answer is, well, I've moved from religion to a more spiritual path. But then the next question that comes up often is, well, what's the difference between religion and spirituality? How would you answer that?
Well, I can answer it from my own perspective. I can't answer it from yours. But I understand what you mean when you say you've gone from a religious perspective to a spiritual perspective in life. Because to me, it means that you have become open-minded about what you may accept and what you may reject in terms of philosophy, psychological and sociological experiences, even wisdom traditions. So let's say, for instance, you considered yourself to be a particular religion, and you have a holy book, and something that's said by somebody else of another religion has a spiritual value to it. I mean, it has a value that can help change your life in a positive way.
Universal truths are.
Yes, but you say, that's not in this book. It's not in that book. It's not what we practice. And you reject it out of hand as a result of your religious background. So you've become more spiritual now, Ron, and I would assume that means that you're willing to accept the wisdom of that spiritual tradition involved in another religion. Meaning you're willing to lay it out on the table and say, will this help my life? Will this help my relationships? Will this help other people? And to accept it in your life, even though it comes from another religious tradition.
And it's interesting because that's really the truth for me. Now, I feel like I am of all religions because they all have nuggets. They all have those deep, never-ending truths. And if you look past the dogma that is so often part of these religious beliefs and look at the truths, they're truths, and they are truths that affect my life. So that is an interesting transition to make, but not comfortable for everyone.
Well, you have to be willing to accept that they're there, which means that you have to take a look at another truth, which is that there is some truth in everything. Now, I oftentimes say this, and I think that this is a wonderful way to get this point across, but nobody is smart enough, no organization is smart enough, no institution is smart enough to be wrong 100% of the time. And
well said.
And what that means is that there's some truth in everything.
Right.
And our job is to lay it on the table, sift through it, and to find that truth and to incorporate it in our lives if it works for us. Not to just reject it out of hand because what it looks like on the surface.
Reverend Greg, thank you for joining us. Every Sunday, Claremont Center for Spiritual Living, 10:30 service. I'm usually there. Come by and say hello. Don't go away. We'll be right back.